How's it going, everyone? My name is Drew Daniels. I'm a graduate student in Marcus Bosenberg's lab, and I'm gonna walk you through making lime curd pie, or lime curd deconstructed pie. Cliche, I know. The recipe we're gonna do today is basically a nice way to do like key lime pie but without the sweetened condensed milk, so it's a little more tart and a little more like fresh and bright, more cliche words. Basically, you can actually make this into a pie. The problem is it has to set overnight in the fridge, so the way we're gonna do it, we're basically gonna have it like make a custard and then pour that over graham cracker crust or graham cracker crumble, and then serve it like that. I highly recommend making your own whipped cream, which we'll kind of show you in a minute, or at least just get some store-bought whipped cream, but this is really served best with whipped cream since we're not going to have that sweetened condensed milk that has the like richness to it. So all the cooking is going to happen in a medium saucepan. So to start, I'm going to just pour the eggs in here. You can see my proportions here are a lot larger than what you guys are working with. It's Super Bowl weekend, and I know that all of this will get eaten, so I'm quadrupling it. But to start, we've got the eggs in here, and we're just gonna get them beat up and combined. So once your yolks are broken and your eggs are sort of beat, we can add in our sugar. And for you, it's gonna be 2 eggs and 1/4 cup of sugar, or 3/4 of a cup of sugar. All right, sugar dust. All right, so with the eggs beat and the sugar added, we're gonna go ahead and add the lime juice, a little bit of salt, and you guys can add just a small pinch. Again, since I'm like quadrupling this, I'm adding a lot more. And then our lime zest. And I just zested all the limes that I was then gonna squeeze before I actually squeeze them, so you can kind of get that way. And we're just gonna combine all of that in. It might take a second for this to all wanna like actually incorporate, but just keep it going, and like a whisk is definitely your friend here. So we did all of that over no heat. Now we're gonna add in our cubed butter. And the smaller you cube this, the faster it's gonna melt. So I would just recommend kind of taking the time to like cube it up. We're gonna add that in. We're gonna put this over medium heat, and basically we're just gonna whisk this constantly without stopping at all. Like, don't walk away, keep it going. Make sure you're continually scraping the bottom because we want the eggs to curdle on the bottom. And what we're going for is this just basically turning from this like pretty liquidy consistency to actually a bit of a custard. And you'll see it'll become smooth and sort of start to thicken up. And that's gonna be it, it's done. All right, so our heat is on and we're just gonna get to whisking. All right, so quick little set change here, cleaned up, got rid of our questionably legal kitchen setup. And our custard has kind of gotten to the place we want it to. So you can kind of see it there. You see it's kind of dripping, glopping off, I guess would be the term, of our whisk. And when you're actually whisking, you'll really feel like the butter will melt, and then all of a sudden it will just thicken, and that's the point we want to take it to. Turn the heat off and then keep whisking it while the heat's off to make sure you're still distributing any residual heat that's in the pan. All right, so while we let that sit, I want to really quickly show you guys how to make a whipped cream. I know this isn't the instructions, it's super simple. It's 1 cup of heavy cream, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar that I've already gotten here. Oops. And just a splash of vanilla. It's just such an improvement over store-bought. If you get store-bought, that's totally fine. I'm just, something about having that addition of the vanilla just absolutely puts it over the edge. So we will just pour this bad boy in. I use like a pre-chilled bowl. If you can, just throw it in the fridge ahead of time. It just speeds things up a whole lot when it comes to actually whipping it, which is shocking, but I promise it's true. Generous splash, and then I promise you this will go way faster than you think, but just get to whisking. All right, so now this is totally passable. And you can see as I kind of holding a peak. I like to take it just a little bit farther because I like really stiff whipped cream, especially with this, just like texturally. So we're gonna go a little bit farther. Unfortunately, the beating does get a little bit harder the stiffer it gets. If you have an egg beater, that also definitely works. You don't have to do this. So that's what I like, just like super stiff peaks. I mean, yeah, insane. All right, so now let's plate this all up. All right, so as I said at the beginning, if you do this with a doubled recipe for what you guys had and use a full graham cracker crust mold, you can actually just pour that in, let it sit at room temperature until it's totally cooled, and then throw it in the fridge and have it basically set overnight, and that makes an awesome pie. The way we're gonna do it, since you're working on a shorter time frame, is a little different, and hopefully works because I've not done this before. So I have smashed up graham crackers or graham cracker crust here. What I'm thinking we'll do is take some of this, like 3 tablespoons of it, take some of this, like a tablespoon, and mix it together to make a bit of a paste. All right, we're gonna do a little more of that. And what we're gonna do is, in this case, I'm gonna put it into a ring mold because I'm being ridiculously over the top. But you don't need any mold at all, you can just basically crumble it up, put it on the plate. But what I'm gonna do is pour this into your ring mold, or just make a mound of it on your plate. And I'm just patting it down here to make it fit into the mold. We have a nice little circle. We're gonna take a ladle, pour some of this over the top and the side, and a big old dollop of that. And then I mean, that's awesome. You can get like a little bit of everything. My hope is that this tastes like key lime pie, but is ready in a lot less time. Yeah, like super, super good. Highly recommend. You don't need the ring mold, you can just crumble it on, but enjoy your dessert. Well.